Hello everyone, let us continue chapter number 15, Some Natural Phenomena. In this video, we will be learning about earthquakes. An earthquake, also known as quake, tremor or trembler, is the shaking of the surface of the earth resulting from a sudden release of energy in the earth's lithosphere that creates seismic waves, and it is the most highly destructive natural phenomena. Let us learn about the structure of earth. The center part of the Earth, which is around 5,000 to 6,000 kilometers beneath the surface, is extremely hot solid core called as the inner core, and it is mainly composed of iron and possibly nickel that is surrounded by a molten layer called as the outer core. The layer next to the outer core is the mantle that is extending up to a depth of 2,800 kilometers, and it consists of dense silicate rocks, and some parts of the mantle is a mixture of solid and liquid like lava. The brittle outermost layer is called as the crust, which varies in thickness from about 25 to 70 kilometers under the continents and from about 5 to 10 kilometers under the oceans. The molten inner core that is surrounded by a high temperature layer called the convecting mantle, and it is not exactly molten as we have already seen. It is made up of solid silicates as well. This convecting mantle enables convection currents driven by heat from the planet's inner core, and the convection currents will be flowing within the mantle. The uppermost section of the mantle is relatively cool and brittle, and it can deform elastically. And the convection currents in Earth's mantle will be dragging the Earth's crust. The Earth crust is not a single but unbroken layer called tectonic plates that sit on top of the slowly flowing and moving mantle. Earthquake occurs when these tectonic plates meet each other. A fault is a weak area in the Earth's crust where two sides of a fracture or fracture zone move relative to each other. Boundaries between tectonic plates are made up from a system of faults. Each type of boundary is associated with one of the three basic types of fault called normal fault, reverse fault, and strike slip faults. We will be learning about these three types of faults in detail. Let us learn about normal fault, that is divergent boundary. Here, plates can move apart at the boundary and they are associated with volcanic activity, and earthquakes in these zones tend to be frequent and small. Hot magma will be rising from the mantle at mid-ocean ridges and pushing the plates apart. In the case of normal fault, you need to remember that the plates will be moving apart at the boundary. The next one it is reverse fault. We will be learning about convergent boundary now. Plates will move towards each other at the boundary. Here you can see the continental plates are moving towards each other. Continental plate collision results in creation of mountains and fold belts as the rocks are forced upwards. For example, the boundary between the Indian plate and Eurasian plate, where the Himalayas are formed, where the Eurasian plate is forced up and over the Indian plate. The next one it is reverse fault or destructive boundary. You can see the ocean plate and the continental plate are moving towards each other. When a boundary is between an oceanic plate and continental plate, which are moving towards each other, this is also referred to as destructive boundary plate. The oceanic plate is pushed down or subducted below the continental lithosphere, and earthquakes are generated within the slab and at the interface between the plates, and it will be of very high intensity, leading to volcanic eruptions, and in some cases it may lead to tsunami also. A tsunami is a series of waves created when water is moved very quickly. Underwater earthquakes are most common cause of tsunami because the earthquakes under the water, it may trigger the volcanic eruption also. The next type is strike, slip fault or transform boundary. The plates can move or slide past each other in the same plate at a boundary. They will be moving in opposite direction, and two tectonic plates, that is continental plates, will be slide passing each other, releasing enormous amount of energy, leading to earthquake. In some cases, it may create tsunami also. The weak zone in the earth crust, which are more prone to earthquakes, are called as seismic zone or fault zones. The place inside the earth crust where earthquake is generated is called as the focus, and the surface directly above is called as the epicenter. The magnitude of earthquake is represented on the Richter scale with a series of numbers ranging from 1 to 12, and earthquakes of magnitude higher than 7 on the Richter scale are really destructive. And there are many regions in India which are prone to earthquake. According to the Ministry of Earth Science, seismic zones include entire northeastern India, parts of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, and Kutch in Gujarat, and few parts of North Bihar and Andaman and Nicobar Islands are prone to earthquake. Let us learn about seismograph. It generally refers to the seismometer, and it is a recording device. A seismograph or seismometer, it is an instrument used to detect and record earthquake. Generally, it consists of a mass attached to a fixed base. During an earthquake, the base moves and the mass does not move. It is stationary. The motion of the base with respect to the mass is commonly transformed into an electrical voltage that is recorded on a paper or on a magnetic tape or another recording medium as well, which is called as a seismogram.